serendipitous. So I think you always just make the right decision for you. I actually have a business degree, and my very first job was selling cars. So very, very, very different from what I'm doing now. And I'd always enjoyed working with clay, but did more sculptural type of work. And I thought, if I were to do something with clay, I like functional objects. So pretty much every object I've made out of clay is an object I want to own myself. It's just the shape of it, the size of it, the utility, the color. The whole thing is just about being true to who I am. Just self-taught. I took one hand building class, and then I started buying clay and just making it in my house and finding places where I could fire it. And then I got to the point where I was like, I need to buy my own kiln. And I have a small kiln, but I thought I'll start off with the size kiln. If I need something bigger, I'll buy something bigger. When I first started off, I wasn't really sure what direction I was going in, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to make a bunch of cups. So I made 50 cups, and then I was like, all right, now I have to glaze 50 cups. And after that was done, I was like, okay, I should photograph the 50 cups. So I went to a place called Sanctuary Arts and worked with a friend of mine, and we were photographing them, and a woman came in and she saw the cups and she's like, oh my god, these cups are so great, and my son's getting married on an island, it's a small wedding, and I'd like to buy half of those as a wedding gift for everyone. And I thought, that's what you do. You make things and it all works out. Everyone who approached my booth had a huge smile on their face, and they're like, it's so cheerful. This is so happy. I love this work. And it was so nice because, being in your little cocoon for a year, working on ideas, you look at what you're doing and you're like, oh my god, I love it, but is it really silly or whatever? So I didn't know how anyone else would take it, and it was really nice that was the very first reaction. And still, every show I do, people always like, it's cheerful, I love it. There's tons of clay out there, and a lot of times some stuff just sort of blends into the same thing other people are doing. So it's nice that I do have a real distinctive look to it, even though I feel like it's so simple, but it has a nice complexity to it as well. I think the hand building is definitely by far the most distinctive aspect of it. That's what really grabs everyone, is when they touch things. So each piece is unique, but there's a uniformity to it all as well. But I think that's, it's that hand-built quality that people respond to. I feel like colors flutter through my head, and I pick out one, and all the other colors flutter until the one I really, when I see it together, I'm like, that's it. It's almost like a Rolodex of all these colors that go through my head, and I was like, nope, that's the one. Like, that's the perfect shade for that perfect shade. I probably had thought of working with clay, I would say, for about 10 years before I actually held a ball of clay in my hand. And the first time I did, I was like, oh my god, I love clay. I love that clay is, you poke it and it moves. So any way you poke it, you can get it to do whatever you want. You just have to, clay can be, when it gets thinner, it gets floppy. So you just have to know the boundaries of it and make it happen.